Hello everyone, are you well? So a while back I did a video asking for subscribers to scratch build a Star Wars vehicle of their own. I have two to show you, one from David Dunn, who did an awesome build. You set the bar high, sir. Then Sunraider Customs dropped his build, which makes what I've built look tame in comparison. Each person will get a sticker and keyring. Just send your address to me over on Instagram. So without further ado, I best start scratching my build. I found my Bad Batch figure for scale and reference. He's nice and posable for what I need him for. I went thinking outside the box on this one and found this mouthwash container, which will be my speeder. I'll pose tech in such a way like this is a speeder from the Easy Rider film. Oh, and did I tell you it's a sea speeder? No? Just did. I need an engine for the front and decide to use this empty soap dispenser bottle. What I'll do is cut it down the middle. Now do be careful if you're doing this. I know sometimes it looks like I've no idea what I'm doing, and half the time you'd be correct, but I hate the sight of blood, especially mine, so I'm always very careful when cutting things. Fun fact, the last cut I got was from cardboard. Go figure. Okay, that fits nicely onto the bottle, but I need to cover this hole here, which I'm going to use EVA foam for. Because my cutting skills are terrible, I've not got a straight line on the bottle, but using some bendy garden wire, that will help cover all the gaps and also help secure the bottle to the EVA foam. Once the glue has set, oh, and by the way, I'm using a new glue at the moment because my normal supply isn't in the country. This is a German brand made by Tech 7. It's okay, it comes with an activator, but pricey at €20. Anyway, it does the job. What I'll do is just cut out all the EVA foam and just trim all that up. Then it's just the simple matter of sticking the top half to the bottom half, making sure it's kind of in the middle, otherwise it'll be back to square one. Next I'm breaking out some 5mm styrene to make a seat. It'll be strong enough for Tech to lean against. I just need to contour the bottom bit just to make sure it's going to fit onto the bottle. I'll also cut down the top part just to make some sort of headrest. While I do that, I'll make a quick seat also, but this time from EVA foam, so it can mould around the contour of the bottle. I've just cut down thin strips of EVA foam to act as padding for the seat, and also do the same for the seat rest. Because of the packs that Tech has on his belt, I had to cut a hole out in the bottle just so then it would sit in properly. You shouldn't be able to see that once everything's built. There he goes on his test flight, and that is the EVA foam cut down into strips, glued onto the styrene, and I'm just going to trim everything off and then stick it to the bottle. You'll notice I left the bottleneck on, as I'm going to use this for the engine. Just use some EVA foam to cover it up, and then I'll greeble it up to make it look kind of engine-like. That's possibly seen better days. To achieve that look, more garden wire, the very thin kind, is going to be used. And what I'll do is wrap it around some armature wire to fashion a spring out of the garden wire. I used this technique for a previous build that may have come out already. I've lost track of all what I've released so far this year. So if you've seen this already, I do apologise. Let's move on. The underneath of this lip needed some greeblies, so I'm just going to use some whatever I've found at the bottom of one of my greebly boxes just to fill it and just to give it some sort of shape. Also adding some of the springs to this. A juice bottle cap is the perfect fit for the front intake engine, so that is going to go right there. I left myself with a problem with the top part of the engine. It's round but also has a straight edge. Luckily I had a sports drink cap that I can cut down and use because it seemed to be the perfect shape. It was strangely round yet had a straight edge, which is kind of like witchcraft. Off screen I greeblied up 2 sweet and low containers for the sides of the speeder. And when I say greeblied up, I did greebly up. I just used all the random sprue bits, I just cut them all down and just plonked them onto the side of the containers. And if you don't believe me, there's a shot of all my little bits and pieces of greeblies that I have in various containers. And if you made it this far, the code word for today is bish bosh. Start that before you do your comment, and I'll know that you got to this part without falling asleep. Various other greeblies were added before it was time to test fit tech. So yeah, I kind of hit the camera there then. Sorry, I don't usually do that. Just do a take 2, there we go. Just test fitting tech now for the brake and accelerator pedals. Look at me, sounding like I know how to build a speeder. For all I know, it could be 2 brakes. The hole in the back is covered with another juice, or how us English say, cordial bottle lid. Hunting for more greeblies to add to the ambience of this speeder. Yeah, I'm just adding posh words into this script right now. And it was at this stage I was having problems with my lighting, which I want to apologise in advance. Hopefully I've got it sorted now, but I keep getting that flicker every now and again. This bit is the cockpit control bit that I'm just going to stick on there so it doesn't look like a soap container, dish, bottle, whatever you want to call it. I made a box from EVA foam to stick to the back of the speeder, maybe for tools or weapons or even a sandwich. That's a question that will never be answered unless addressed in the Bad Batch series. I won't hold my breath. Here's another box that I found that was already made. I'm going to stick that to the other side because I really couldn't be bothered to mess about to make another EVA box. And this time this has probably got his juice drinks or his bottles of wine that he's stolen from a planet. I don't know, they're just containers. Now it's finally time to glue on the sides that you and I both forgot about, but watched me make around 3 minutes ago. They're all greeblied up and ready for action. Yeah, I think I've done a good job there. And before I get comments saying no, I didn't do a good job, I'm only taking the mickey out of myself and nobody else. So less of them sort of comments, thank you. Finally the sides go on and this speeder is taking shape. That is some wings, because you know, I thought, well, it's going to need some wings at some point. That little piece there is for the brake or accelerator pedal, or brake pedals, or whatever pedals you want to call them. Just going to glue them into place. Now, as my fellow YouTuber Maple Leaf Customs says, it's coffee time. I'm using these out of date pods because I need the containers. I won't say what brand they are as I'm not sponsored by them, and Mr. Clooney makes better adverts than I ever could. Oh, damn it. Moving swiftly on from coffee, I found 12 of these tiny torches for 5 yo-yos on Amazon last week. These were cheap and cheerful, but I want to somehow try and incorporate these into the build. Firstly, I'll have to do some nip and tucking just to get rid of some of the bits and pieces for what I have in mind. So I cut a bit of the pod up and glued it onto some EVA foam. I'd made a second one and stuck some bits onto it so I wouldn't get sued by that famous coffee company that likes to recycle their pods after use. And if my calculations were all correct, those tiny torches would fit nice and snugly inside the pod. So up until now, where I'm going to put these massive headlights at the front, it was going to be a land speeder. But as soon as the headlights came on, I thought, no, it's going to be a sea speeder because it's going to, you know, need lights to look out over the ocean, sea, or whatever you want to call it. Dagobah? I don't know. I'm not that up on Star Wars things. And there it is in all its glory, well, apart from it being painted, which it's going to be painted next. I'm just going to spray it black and then we'll get onto some colours. So while the speeder was drying, I thought, yeah, I'm going to make a little base for it, just something just to, you know, show off, and decided that I will make a little sea diorama, and that is a tile that it's another tile that's fallen off the ceiling of the bathroom. Long story, but if you remember from a few videos ago, I talked about a ceiling tile that had come off the ceiling. She still hasn't realised. We have 3 toilets. It's not a big house, but for some reason we have 3 bathrooms, and this is one of the bathrooms that she rarely goes into. So I just helped myself to another ceiling tile. Everything's going to be good. We're fine. Using some clear piping to elevate the speeder off the diorama, I hot glued them into place. I'll do a quick test fit just to make sure that I got the spacings right, and yep, that looks good. Okay, on to the next thing. I'm going to try something new, well, new to you, but I've tried this before with varying results, but I'll stick some tin foil or aluminium or aluminum foil onto the base to make sort of like ripples of the sea onto the base. While that dries, I'm just going to mix some blue and some white together, because I've got a really dark blue, but I want it to be lighter blue than the dark blue, because light blue is better than... I know what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to vary the bluish of the sea. With the base all dry, it's time to apply the paint. So I'm just going to go all the way around the base with the blue. And this is where the fun starts. Going to use some of this water texture and just going to apply it all over the base. I think I did about 2, 3, not too many, but just made it all sort of watery, which really helped. So the tin foil did work, and then the water texture paste enhanced the tin foil, so it was a win-win. With the base drying, it was on to the speeder, and I'm just going to use a grey, just a boring grey, just to go all over it, but that's what colours the Star Wars universe seem to use, so, and that's what I'm going to use. Again, my apologies for the lighting. It's like I've keep slipping into a David Lynch movie, but I'm just going to start painting the chair now, which will be a brown. To add some different contrast, I'm going to use the lunchbox and the juice box. I'm just going to paint them white, and then I'll distress them with a bit of weathering afterwards. Then I'll go in with a red and possibly a green for some of the pipe work. Not going to do it all, just going to do little bits, just so you can sort of like see this sort of layers into the into all the greebly bits. And what I've noticed with a lot of Star Wars vehicles is they have go faster stripes, and that is what I'm applying right now. I'm just sort of like stippling it on, so when I pull the tape off, hopefully it will leave little marks where the paint looks like the paint has faded and worn. Once that is dry, you peel it all off, and I peeled it off and took some of the paintwork with it. Not a biggie, because I'll just use some weathering powders just to cover up those little scuff marks, as I call them. Yeah, I used to worry about that and get all stressed out, but now I just realise, well, I can paint that stuff, and I'll just repaint it. You see, this is there's one there, and then on the other side there's a couple there, so I'll just cover them up with some weathering powder. And that is close to the video. What's next is the glamour shots. So as always, thank you for your continued support. All the new subscribers, all the old subscribers, I appreciate you so much. Leave a comment, leave a like, and until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody. Thank you for watching.